It's time for. Oh my. It's been a while since I've live streamed. It's been like a whole week, and now everything is broken. Ah, ha, 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 ha. It feels kind of good to be back. I've been traveling all week and away from my equipment. So I am today's slightly a different deal. But let me just do my awkward sound check. Cause I've got this song that I'm still very excited about. Here we go. Let's just see how this goes. I'm gonna double click. And I'm just gonna play it while I do an awkward sound check. How's that? Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful feeling. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. I can't look away. Bravo. Or maybe you're distracting me from reality. Either way. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I am loving you right, so accept your word. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm drawn to your drama, my dear prima donna. Encore. Get all you got. The spotlight is high. All right, I'm checking this one more time. Interesting. Okay. Okay, well I can hear, but I super awkward sound check. But it works. Everything works. So that's all I care about right now. Oh my goodness, I have had a really interesting week. My last weekend, our family got together and celebrated my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. Nuts. And it was so nice. And I had to travel quite a bit from LA to Sacramento. Drove. And then swung around the Bay Area and where my old stomping grounds are. And so I connected with some friends and family and stuff. And then all the while still working on projects and still moving things forward. I thought today would be kind of a cool combination of just talking about the song Encore that dropped on Friday and the evolution of it, because I think it's really interesting. I forgot this awkward sound check. I hope you can hear that. I'm going to just make sure that I can hear it. Cool. Cool. Right. So I want to talk a bit about this song and the story behind the song, why I wrote it, what kind of things I was actually thinking through. Oh, is this right? Is this the right? Yeah. Oh my God. So we're gonna listen to some early versions, and then we're gonna hear like the acoustic version, and then I'm gonna kind of break down some of the lyrics and the story behind this thing. So Encore, I had written kind of quickly, and it's one of those songs that I didn't really put a whole lot of thought to. This song is actually a song of the month back in 2018. I've been doing my song of the month club for going on 5 years. And I'd written it, and I kind of have been messing around with Ableton, just kind of trying to figure things out. And what happened was what happened. I remember thinking about like how the job of acting was actually like it's a job for lying. And I thought it was a really interesting like metaphor, I guess you could call it. Let's see. I'm learning that everything is content. Everything is content. Don't forget to film it. Don't forget to film it. And sometimes my vertical phone just films better TikToks than not. Okay. Here we go. What's up? Oh boy. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take my hair down just for a second. Come on, everybody, let your hair down. So, Encore. I remember thinking about like I think this may or may not have been inspired by the theme of describe your job badly. There's this meme that was going around back then, and not terribly like. It's still kind of going around, actually, of how to describe your job badly. And me as a songwriter, actually, I'm gonna put my hair back up because I'm like, did not like the feeling of it having it down. The Now I've got two cameras to fight with. Oh no. I'm gonna make it a little less awkward. Right. Okay. You're all just seeing the ridiculousness of everything that I'm doing, right? This is all ridiculousness. Okay, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna just start filming some TikToks. Okay, here we go. Little Sparrow, take 5. Okay. Right. So the story behind Encore was just thinking about how to describe different jobs badly. And of course, I would describe a songwriter's job as I sell specifically shaped air that's designed to manipulate your emotions. That's what I do. Or I could just say I sell air. It's all air. It's specifically shaped air, but it's air. And I was thinking about the job title for an actor. Their job is to professionally deceive. Like their job is to be a liar. And I was thinking about that and was going, well, that's a really interesting metaphor about like, you know, you could take that beyond just people who are in the acting profession, like people who lie all the time and put on an act and put on a show and are totally fake, but have this perception of, you know, That was actually really good. I like the fact that you're like lying and put on a show. I'm buying the ticket. I'm signing up, you know. Here's your award. Thanks for pretending to be something else. I will give you the academy now. And I thought that was a really interesting metaphor. It's not the most unique metaphor. I definitely didn't invent it. But I wanted to dig into it and just, you know, do something interesting with it. So, let's see. So I'm gonna read a little bit of the lyrics. And it's not. This isn't gonna be like as in depth as say something like mathematics would be, where it's super layered and kind of uh, deep and almost geeky. Um, this is pretty straightforward. The first line is, maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. I can't look away. Bravo. Like, yeah. Or maybe you're distracting me from reality. Either way, encore. Like, it could be that I'm just letting you lie, or it could be that it could be that I'm enjoying whatever the hell you're doing, or I just don't want to think about the reality right now. Either way, keep going. Keep doing your sham. And yeah, these lyrics are actually pretty straightforward because they're saying exactly what I mean. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I am loving your lying, so accept your award. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I am drawn to your drama, my dear prima donna. Encore. It's a hard line to sing, drawn to your drama. But um, yeah, the second verse kind of goes, give it all you got. The spotlight is hot. It's all about you, ain't it? And I'm not a part of the scene. It's true. That kind of has a double meaning there. It's like, hey, the spotlight is really on you, and I got nothing to do with it. It's all about you. Um, there's a little bit of an ego play when you're on stage and like, you know, are performing. And I say that as a performer. Like there is a little bit of a give it all you got. The spotlight is hot because it's all about you. And I'm not a part of the scene. Like literally, like part of the scene is in the play or the scene of the TV show or whatever it is. But it's also like I'm disconnected from your scene, as in your people, as in I. There's an underlying current of this person kind of being an outcast, looking in at I don't know, the cool kids at school or whatever, the popular cliques at school, and going, I'm not a part of this. It's interesting. I want to watch this because I'm just like pulling out the popcorn and watching all this drama, but I'm not a part of it. Which is a common thing that I definitely felt in school. Just like I'm so thrilled that you are the center of the universe. Keep doing your thing. I'm just gonna be over here. Um, but yeah, there's kind of a double meaning of like I'm not a part of the scene, the acting scene, the play, the TV scene, or I'm not a part of your group. The next verse is just don't let slip your controlling grip of your cast and crew. Encore to your directorial debut. Um, that is definitely like you could apply that to a lot of different scenarios. And the one I had in my head was specifically about people who manipulate or gaslight or just like it's all a show, and all of this is they're trying to be like the puppet master. Um, just don't let slip your controlling grip of your cast and crew. Encore to your directorial debut. Um, that that line came to me. The encore to your directorial, like I was pretty wedded to that rhyme. So I had to like figure out how to weave it into the story. Yeah, so that line came first before the just don't let slip your controlling grip of your casting crew. Like I think it even came before give it all you got, the spotlight is hot. I just knew that that was a clever internal rhyming, and I was like I will make it work. And I think I made it work. Encore. There's the chorus again. It takes two, the audience and you, and I have suspended my belief before. What's one more? Man, I worked with that line. I tried a bunch of different combinations. But what I really came down to is like admitting that I'm playing a part. Because right now in verse 2, I'm saying I'm not a part of this. But here in the bridge, I'm saying, okay, yeah, I actually like. I'm coming to a realization now. This is where it could kind of get deep. Actually, I'm gonna start this TikTok again. Okay, so in this bridge, I say, it takes two, the audience and you, and I've suspended my beliefs before. What's one more? I throughout the rest of the song, I was really saying like, "Oh, I'm not a part of this. It's all about you. Oh, Encore, you're the star here. I'm just out in the bleachers, um, the egging you on." And in the bridge is where I realize that I'm egging them on. Is where I actually realize that I'm playing the audience and I'm actually feeding this ego trip by being in the audience and just like watching and encouraging this behavior. So when I say it takes two, the audience and you, it really does. Like you can't perform without an audience. Like you might make stuff up, you might like, dance by yourself. But without the audience witnessing the drama, there's no drama. It's just all you. So this is the part where I remember I had a life coaching session. Don't make fun of life coaches. You can make fun of the stupid ones. You can make fun of the scam ones, but I do swear by them. I do swear by the good ones. And my life coach actually pointed out there's a particular, they call it the triangle of drama. Da, 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 da. So in this triangle of drama, there are three players in the triangle of drama. One is the perpetrator, two is the victim, and three is the enabler. And I have definitely been, at some point in my life, all three, but the one I usually stick with is the enabler. Because I'm assuming that everybody's okay, they don't need my help, they are adults and they can take care of themselves. And sometimes that's true. But sometimes enabling is not that. Sometimes enabling is encouraging by trying to play the rescuer. Oh my gosh, I got that wrong. It wasn't enabling, it was rescuing. I'm going to do that again. Okay. for the camera, for the clock, for the Zoom. I know I'm being super vain right now. I don't give a shit. It's the perpetrator, the victim, the rescuer. Okay. So there's this thing that my life coach told me once about the triangle of drama. Don't shit on life coaches, just shit on the bad ones. Anyway, so this triangle of drama has 3 components to it. 1 is the perpetrator, 2 is the victim, and 3 is the rescuer. And I'm sure at some point I've played all 3 of those roles. But I tend to stick with this rescuer role a lot. And it didn't occur to me until I was talking with my coach about how much that perpetuates that cycle and how much that becomes enabling. Instead of you being the superhero that's rescuing the situation, you're actually promoting its continuation. And it's not to say that perpetrators aren't assholes and victims don't need help. Both are true. Perpetrators are assholes, victims do need help. And it's not to say that people aren't victimized. But to stay in victimhood is a different story. And a lot of times rescuers help victims stay victims and perpetrators stay perpetrators. And I did not even realize that that was what I was doing until my coach pointed it out. I am a classic enabler. Like, just straight up. Classic enabler. I think I'm staying out of people's business, but what I'm doing is allowing awful behavior to happen to me or people that I love. And in some ways, that dovetails into rescuing. And it's like if I'm staying out of business, then I'm allowing things to happen. If I go in and rescue a victim, then I am still not empowering them. I'm disempowering them. And I've learned a lot about that kind of stuff through social justice work. And this ideal of white saviorism, that's something that I have struggled with. It's like, oh, well, I'm in a position of power to go in and help. But what that does is disempower the people who already have ideas and answers and solutions, but don't feel like they have a proper way to channel their own ideas and initiatives. That it keeps being taken over by outsiders who are like, I'm here to help. You know, it's kind of like the 5-year-old in the the 5-year-old in the kitchen who absolutely thinks that they are totally helping by trying to crack an egg, but ends up making a complete mess and getting all the eggshells and you know, like there's a role in assisting and being an ally. But the white saviorism is actually still based on racism. It's still based on, oh, you poor things down there. You must not know how to take care of yourself. Here, let me take care of you. And that's something that I have to call myself out. Because it's embedded, like raised in a culture where this kind of idea was embedded. So back to the drama triangle. Back to the drama triangle. Victim, perpetrator, rescuer. if I continue to play the rescue game, abandoning all of my own responsibilities for some poor somebody or another, I then become burnt out, depleted. They are not able to help themselves. The perpetrator gets away with and continues to play a role in the whole cycle. We actually give the perpetrator more power by playing this drama triangle. So anytime that, and this is not to belittle or to say victims aren't victims, because I think that's super toxic. To say that nobody is a victim, everybody, that is, I heard that in spiritual woo-woo circles, and I just cannot, I can't, that's not okay. People are victims. Perpetrators are assholes that need to be stopped. And rescuers or enablers perpetuate the whole cycle. They keep victims victims, and they keep perpetrators perpetrating. It gives them energy. Sometimes the answer is simply to just disengage. But really, the deeper answer is a trust that the other person, the victim, has their own innate tools. And in the actual act of being a victim, they may need help, yes. Sometimes the injuries are very long going. But there does come a point where if somebody on the outside is continuing to rescue them from the same situation over and over and over, there does need to be something else. I can't just be one person that's like saving the day in the same situation over and over and over. And that's why a lot of us, like, we're advocating for, community support and systemic support for things like this, because it does sometimes take a village, but also it does also take the victim to get help to move out of victimhood. Yes, you can be a victim of a terrible thing. And to stay a victim is disempowering. And it sucks because some things are really, really harmful. So I have to also watch myself when, there have been points where, yeah, I've been the victim. There's probably been points where I've been the perpetrator. Intentionally, not intentionally, I'll own it. But the real work with me lies within the rescuing and the enabling. And it's very hard because I do believe in community efforts and resources. I do believe in the interconnectedness of all of us. And I do believe that as long as, one of us is not liberated, all of us are not. But who do I serve by avoiding everything in my own life to continue to rescue the same situation, the same cycle, the same pattern? And at some point, there needs to be a disruptor of the pattern, not of the person. And it could be that the perpetrator doesn't know that they're perpetrating, or isn't fully aware, or is literally just evil, But to continue playing the victim and rescuing everybody, both playing the victim and rescuing everybody from the bad guys out there, um, gives the bad guys more power. So I thought it was a really interesting discussion, and it actually ends up in my song in this: it takes two, the audience and you. And I suspended my belief before what's one more. Like, I'm still the audience. I'm still I'm egging you on. I'm giving you that audience energy so you could play out your drama. I like to say that trauma is inevitable, drama is optional. I have a feeling I've heard that somewhere before, so I can't claim it myself, but trauma is inevitable. Every single one of us who is alive is going to go through some trauma with a T, big or small. But drama with a D, bringing everybody into it, blowing things out of proportion, that's optional. I'm not saying drama is bad either. I'm just saying it's optional. And you can pick and choose your battles. Okay, that was an 11-minute long TikTok. I'm going to have to edit that down. Okay. I want to get back to this song because I have some old demos from it that I want to play. Oh, and then last bit on the lyric front. You could star on the TV with those lines that you feed me. Plays back in with the rest of the song, but just the other day, I think I posted it to social media, and somebody's like, you should replace the word "the" with something else. And I'm like, well, it's too late. But I was kind of using a vernacular that's like, ooh, you big fancy, you could star on the TV, couldn't you? Ooh, like with that kind of attitude. And don't doubt me that I haven't thought about that word, because I'm a writer. I'm very deliberate about a lot of my words. You could star on TV with those lines. I mean, I could be just, you could star on TV, but there's something about, ooh, you could star on that big fancy TV right there. Ooh, aren't you fancy? Yeah, yeah. So that was a deliberate choice. Okay, so those are the lyrics. Anyway, those are the lyrics as they are now. I want to totally well, I'll play a little bit on piano as it's stripped down, as most of my Little Spiral crew has heard it. You know, all y'all who keep showing up to Concerts for Introverts and these live streams and my shows hear it acoustically. Like this. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. And then I just kind of kind of like that. Okay, so to be honest, I don't really remember. I'm gonna just check my notes right now. I'm just gonna look at my note history and see. Oh my goodness, interesting. I first started this Evernote for Encore December 26th, 2014. Damn, where was I? Okay, so 2014 was the year I started Little Spiral. It's the year I transitioned from a 9 to 5 to being my own boss of sorts. I'm trying to get into my mindset at that time. I think I was still living in Berkeley. Yeah, I was still living in Berkeley. 1 second. Okay, Google, turn on the overhead lights. Let me just see if more light. That's great. It's excessive light now. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So I first started this song in 2014, and I vaguely remember like writing it out, but I think I had different lyrics. In fact, I'm gonna look in here and just see if there's if my old version is still in here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I did have this, and at some point I changed the lyrics. Let's actually just listen to this really old, oh my gosh, kind of embarrassing demo when this must have been, I wrote it in 2014 and I must have made the demo in like 2017 or 18 because I didn't really get into Ableton until about then. So let's just play this thing and I'm going to laugh along with you because it's kind of cheesy. And it's fine. It just is. Okay, here we go. I had to get some idea on the piano. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. I can't look away. Bravo. Or maybe you're distracting me from reality. Either way, encore, encore. I'm begging for more. Go and write your acceptance speech. Claim your award. Write your acceptance speech. Encore, I'm begging for more. I'm drawn to your drama, my dear prima donna. Encore. I'm loving your lying. So accept your word. Wait a minute. Fucking breakdown. You know you got the spotlight is high. It's all about you. Encore to your directorial debut. Encore, encore. I'm begging for more. Go and write your acceptance speech. Claim your award. Encore, encore. I'm begging for more. I'm drawn to your drama, my dear prima donna. Wow. It takes two, the audience and you. And I've played my role in the bleachers before. That's what it was. What's one more? You could star on the TV with those lies that you feed me. Encore. I've played my role in the bleachers. Encore. I'm begging for more. You're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. I have not heard that in a hot minute. That's great. Yeah, cheesy production. it's formidable for a newbie producer, and I still feel like I'm kind of newish, intermediate-ish on the production front. At least with anything that requires a drum beat. I suck at drums. Anyway. Go and write your accepted speech and claim your award. Do you hear how many fucking syllables? How many consonants I had to struggle through? Go and write your accepted speech, claim your award. So I cleaned up a lot of that clunkiness. And the new lyric is, I am loving your lying, so accept your award. Which I think just flows a lot better. Oh, and then that bridge, I've played my role in the bleachers before. I did remember that I was trying to be like, I'm in the audience. How do I say I'm in the audience? And I ended up turning it to, and I have suspended my beliefs before. And for those who don't know, like drama terminology, from my one high school class in drama, suspension of belief means you're in the audience and you can put aside most of your logic in order to be immersed in the story. Which again, that's actually a pretty big repeated theme in a lot of my work, is art and story in this hand and logic and reason in this hand. And because that, I used to be in the journalism world, and now that I'm in music, I can tell more. I can tell more truth than just like a list of facts. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, this is another TikTok. Bear with me. Just trying to find easier ways to make these fucking TikToks. Ugh. So then there's this line about let me get this. Try this again. So there's this line in my song that is, I have suspended my belief before. What's one more? And for those of you who've taken any sort of drama classes, I took literally one in high school. But it's just about how you can suspend your belief, meaning you can just kind of shut down your logical part of the brain in order to be immersed in a story. And that's a huge part of why TV works, why art works, why religion might work, is there's a story and you're willing to set aside everything that you kind of know in order to be engaged with the story to an extent. There does become some things like certain movies, if you are watching Back to the Future and you're pointing out like, wait a minute, he would have never played that body of guitar, and not actually going, wait a minute, he traveled time. You're able to suspend your belief about time travel, but not able to suspend your belief about like that particular guitar model that wasn't invented until 1970, whatever. I don't know if that's a good example, but there's a limit to your suspension of beliefs. But my work, a lot of things come up about this. Here's your logical side of the brain. Here's your art side of the brain, left and right brain kind of thing. And when I'm singing about like Encore, I'm begging for more, is literally, I'm hiring you to lie to me in whatever acting that you're doing. And I can suspend my belief over and over and over again as long as what I'm getting here is somehow fulfilling my weird need for entertainment. But when I say I've suspended my belief before what's one more, I'm talking about putting aside that logic to be involved in the art process or the storytelling process. And that whole theme is everywhere in my work. Like, mathematics is about what if God was mathematics, over here logic, distilled into art, story, creativity. Like, how do they go together? And it makes sense because I come from a journalism background. I was in the journalism field for like 15 years, if you count high school journalism. And if you don't, then it's at least a decade plus. So when I'm talking about this entire song, I'm talking about the storytelling art part and me trying to shut down my logical part. I know that you're lying. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. You could star on the TV with those lines that you feed me. It's very exciting. And so I guess I'm playing around with the nature of what a lie is and what art is. Because either if it's a lie or if it's art, you're still making it up. Okay. I appreciate you all letting me kind of do double duty while trying to make some TikToks here. Okay, so y'all heard the old the old demo. I'm gonna play the new song again. So the transition from the old demo to the new one. What do I remember about that? I believe I met somebody through a Facebook group, and I cannot for the life of me remember which one. I'll have to ask him. But his name is Chris Ulmer. And his company is called Powered by Sounds Production. And at some point, I think there was kind of a miscommunication, to be honest. I think, if I recall, it was a Facebook group that was trying to do music for sync. I think that was it. It's music. When I say music for sync, SYNC. That's sync licensing for movies, TV, film, commercials. It's the license that you have to get in order to get your music placed in bigger productions like that. I think it might have been a group where people were coming together, musicians, songwriters, lyricists, vocalists, producers. Everybody were coming together to make songs for the sync world, the movies, TV, film world. And I had reached out to a couple of producers, and then this one came back with me, and he was actually really fast. And I was really slow. Oh my gosh, I was the slowest. I'm the worst. So many regrets. I'm going to just leave those on the table. But this was very early 2020. This must have been January. We had no idea the pandemic was coming. Or maybe it was late 2019. I'll have to actually look. But I had released this demo in 2018 as a part of an exclusive Patreon release. And I'm glad that I did that, because now I'd be super embarrassed by this song if it was out in public as it was. But I wanted to work with more producers. I knew that. And I did have a reworking of the vocals. As soon as I realized I was going to change some of the lyrics, I did lay down just some piano chords and sang on top of it. And yeah, so I remember traffic jams. What are boys and girls with I remember trying to look in my Evernote, my big master file Evernote of all my song ideas since like 2012. And I was looking through and trying to see if any of them had lyrics that weren't as specific and weird as I normally write them. I too tend to get specific and weird, but you have a much better chance of getting any of these placements in film and TV if your lyrics are just a little less specific. So I was looking through on songs that I knew I had some workable demo to, that had at least some vocals. I want to say, I think the demo that we just listened to, there might have even been some vocal takes that made it on the final. I'd have to listen again, but I don't want to listen again. It was really cheesy. So, right. Back to when I was looking for a song that had decent lyrics, that were not very specific, could fit a lot of scenarios. When I say specific, I mean like, I'm on a road to New Orleans and here is my dog Charlie. Like, that's too specific and it wouldn't really work well, even if there was a movie about going to New Orleans with your dog Charlie. They usually don't want you to sing about it. They want the audience to figure out that this is a person named Charlie, or this is a dog named Charlie, and the person who is driving to New Orleans, right? A lot of my stuff is not necessarily that specific, but it's weird enough. Like, what if God was mathematics? Like, what if God was mathematics distilled into art? Like, I don't know if that truly works great in the background of a whole lot of scenes. We'll see. I'm still going to pitch it around. In fact, that's what is happening this weekend, is a big convention called Taxi Road Rally. And that's where a lot of the music supervisors and people who are really interested in placing music for all these, video projects, kind of shop their stuff and meet and mingle. Okay. So, right. So I'm looking through Evernote and finding a couple songs that might work. And I'm tempted to send this demo, the one that you just heard, I'm tempted to send that one on over to this guy, Chris Homer. We connected in Facebook group, and there was a miscommunication, I think, because at first, and this is totally my bad, is my bad. At first I sent it over, and I think maybe depending on what was worded in the Facebook group, I thought it was going to be for free or a percentage or something. But no. So he started work on it. And immediately I was just blown away. He put the horns in. That is all Chris Homer. And this is my confession, and I hope he's cool with it. But yeah, I originally was like, oh, we're gonna do this for free so that we could split it and so that we could pitch it, right? That's how my memory is of this whole situation, and my memory is not great. But I do remember thinking, oh, great, somebody who's gonna work with me for free, and I was like, oh, oops, you already started work on this. Actually, he already almost finished it back in early 2020. I felt terrible because I did not have the money. Anyway, so we brought it to this point where it was just like this larger than life, really awesome. He was actually really cool about things, and was like, okay, well, like he owned some part of miscommunication. Said, well, let's reduce it because I think this song is really awesome, and so that was very generous of him. And then March 2020 happened. I remember posting this. I actually posted this March 1st, 2020 on Patreon, and sort of remembering that there were kind of whispers around about this super viral virus. Like it was the year before where I heard about it in China, but there's kind of now whispers of like, oh my gosh, it's landing in the United States. Oh my god. But did not think it was gonna be, I mean, 2 weeks later. Whew. So I kind of disappeared off the face of the planet at that point, and I did not blame anybody else for doing the same. And so this song was kind of in limbo for at least a good 7 or 8 months until I felt like I was in a better position. And I started to really think about now that I think at that point, like maybe 4 or 5 months in, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a while, and things are crazy, and I might have actual spare time on my hands. So I started thinking about an album, and then I started thinking about this song, and I was like, you know what, I should swallow my pride, go back to talking with Chris, let's get this finished up and paid for. So it was actually in the pandemic where I did receive some unemployment funds, and in some extra financial programs and things to finally finish up that process. But that was still 2021, and now we're towards the end of 2022. So this song has been like, wrote the first bit in 2014, got it demoed in 2018, got it produced in 2020, and now it's finally seeing the light of day, 2022, end of 2022. Yeah, that was rough. I really felt awful about like ghosting him, basically. I don't know if he even knows that I'm talking about him right now. I should probably email him and be like, yeah, sorry. However, all of that to say, I knew it was a solid song, but Chris just killed it, took it over the top, and straight out of the gate too. So I had thought about sending him this old demo. I thought about it. I'm glad I didn't, because what I ended up doing was stripping all of that back and just giving him the piano chords, simple piano chords, in my voice, so that he could start with a completely fresh slate. Sometimes I do like to reveal like my demos, even if they're rough or cheesy or whatever, just so that I could communicate an idea. I'm so glad I didn't this time, because straight out of the gate came back to me. I remember his first revision to me. I I just gasped, because those loud horns, those big over the top James Bond sound, was there the first day working with Chris. So cool. And it also, I was also a little wary, because it wasn't anything. It didn't sound like anything that I had done before, and it's I don't even know what genre to call this. I just call it James Bond. That's like the genre. And I was actually kind of apprehensive, because I heard it and it was so awesome, and then I was like, "Oh crap, what do I do with this? Do I make more music that sounds like this?" I still don't know. We'll see how good this song goes. Um, but I also thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna release this with a mix of different vibes, and I think the unifying factor amongst all of them is my voice and a piano. And in fact, the piano licks that you hear in the new song, those were actually added quite later in the process, because I was listening to it and coming across that exact question of like, what makes a song Little Spiral? Um, my voice, some fancy piano tricks, and clever lyrics. That's what makes a song sonically a Little Spiral song. Like subject wise or content wise, it's usually, you know, deeper than surface level subject matter and things like that. But sonically, my voice, that has kind of a rasp, a little bit of emotion, but is very dynamic and can go up and down and have a lot of power, or has a lot of softness. Like that dynamic, kind of oaky, raspy thing. And but I'm not a power singer. Like I don't do runs. I don't like I'm not Christina Aguilera. So I'm still on a human level. Like I think Christina Aguilera was like so superstardom. Like there's no peer. I'm like, no, I'm your peer. I'm still on ground level. Um, yeah, fancy piano licks, clever lyrics, and my voice. So I just made sure that the piano was a little more upfront in the mix. And I did add some of those licks and fills and stuff. Gosh, I can't even play it again. I don't even know how to play my own song. That's it. See, those little bits are not embedded in the DNA of the song. So that's why I'm like, wait a minute, I totally know how this song goes. gonna have to teach myself that again. Right. I want to play you. Yeah, so we basically shaped it up. There's some back and forth and me second guessing to High Heaven about all the things. I promise I will be less heavy-handed next time. Less perfectionist. I do want things to be quality, but I think sometimes perfectionism is getting in the way of actually releasing things to the world. So, I'm gonna play the final bit. Oh yeah, and then there was like we did a little bit of like warping, like that tape sound of we did some like retro stylings to the sound of the to the horns. And I could show you before and after that, but that'll take too long. Okay, I just want to play the song, and I'll probably get cut off of Facebook for copyright violations. Guess what? I don't care. Here we go. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful feeling. But it's such a wonderful play. I can't look away. Bravo. Or maybe you're distracting me from reality. Either way. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I am loving your light, so accept your reward. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm drawn to your drama, my dear prima donna. Encore. Give it all you got. The spotlight is high. It's all about you, ain't it? And I'm not a part of the scene. It's true. Just don't let slip your controlling grip of your cast and crew. Encore to your directorial debut. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm loving your light, so accept your reward. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm drawn Um, yeah. So, I I get this question a lot. Oh, I'm starting to freeze up. It looks like I'm starting to freeze up. Let me just double check that everything is good to go. Cause yeah, I'm starting to freeze up. Okay, I'm just double checking. It's a little rough. Okay, I hope I didn't freeze up completely. So I get asked a lot. Okay, I'm gonna just like dismiss you. Oh gosh, stop. Modern technology is so great. It's so great. I could connect with you all so easily. So I get asked a lot whether the horns on Encore are real horns. They are not. They're all computer. I'm sorry to disappoint people. I'm not sorry to disappoint people. You really think I have Do you really think I have the budget to hire an entire horn section? No. That is all Chris Ulmer. It was even his idea. I didn't say, hey, put some horns on this. He just came back with it and he's like, guess what? This sounds really good. And I was like, yeah, it does. It sounds really great. Keep doing that. That's it. That's the TikTok. um, yeah, they are not. They're virtual instruments. That is the beauty of modern production. Yeah, I kind of. I wonder because I want to see if it's at my fingertips. Let's do it. If not, I kind of want to get like an earlier version. Powered by sound production. Version 1. Okay. I'm gonna see if now this is gonna be a complete surprise to me as well. I don't know if it's like the version. But I just want to I'm just gonna play like a little snippet. And let's see. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful feeling. Wow. Maybe you're just acting, but it's such a wonderful play. I can't look away. Bravo. Or maybe you're distracting me from reality. Either way. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm loving you like so accept your reward. Encore, encore, I'm begging for more. I'm drawn to your drama, my dear Madonna. Encore. Yeah. Wow. I hear a lot of the subtleties. People might not, but this version is definitely a more crisp, clean version and an emptier version. So if you could hear, the horns are very bright and very clear and brassy. And I remember I was working with a mentor of mine through the Triple Threat Artist community, who I highly recommend. Zion Brock was leading that up, and then had a friend of his, Josh Doyle, who's a expert mixer, give us feedback. I took his class, and great program. So my mentor Josh gave that suggestion of like, can you warp the horns a bit? Maybe put a little tape warp sound. I know he had specifics, and he basically gave the producer more specifics on why did you do this and that. But I can hear that. I think the thing that everybody can hear is the lack of piano. After hearing the real version, the lack of piano, I knew that because I'm Little Spiral, and my whole shtick is piano, and like complicated piano, for the most part, not necessarily all the time, but that's like my shtick. I added those piano licks in afterwards, and it definitely made it a Little Spiral song, because it came back to me as like, this is an awesome song. And I wasn't actually going to release it because I still felt like it was kind of out of character from everything else that I have done. And it's true, it is, but who cares? I originally wasn't going to release it, just use it for these sync opportunities for film, TV, and all that. I'm really glad I released it and made it a little more spirally. And it's just such a terrific song. Yeah, I think that's. I'm gonna wind it down a little early today because there's so much on my plate. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna wind it down a little bit, and I still have it unpacked from a week and a half away, and just need to take care of some stuff. But I hope this was helpful. I have half a mind to convert some of this material that I've been live streaming to a podcast or something, or editing down some of the sections and repurposing stuff. Anyway, that's it for today's 333. I'm very excited. This Friday we will not have a live stream because, as I mentioned, this weekend is called the Taxi Road Rally, where a lot of the film industry, TV industry, ads industry who are looking for music kind of converge on this on this conference. So we're gonna be networking it up, me and the produce aisle. So if you are often on these streams, you will know a couple months ago that Lorene Anderson and I co-wrote and co-produced a song called In Your Corner. And she's actually based out of New Orleans, but she's coming into town for this Taxi Road Rally. And so it'll be fun. I'm excited. But we will be out there networking and not actually live streaming. I bet you she is going to be in town Monday. So for Monday's 333 stream, we might have a guest appearance with our good friend of the show, the Produce Aisle. So, all right. And as always, if you want to support any of the work that I do, I always appreciate a little extra support through Patreon. It's as little as $1 a month, and you get at least one new song demo a month. The last few months, you've been getting these singles as they release early, and you've been getting. I'm also offering stems, so you get all the individual files. Um, you know, here's your tracks, here's your background, here's your bass, here's your drums. Um, the patrons are getting those as well. So if I have a song that everybody gets to hear, I like to give a little bonus to my patrons. But yeah, I've been doing the Song of the Month Club since 2018, and I will keep doing it as long as you'll have me. As long as there's music in me, which will be hopefully forever. Okay. All right. I'll see you all not this Friday, but Monday, and I hope you have an excellent week and take care of yourselves.